Dogs are the only creatures on this planet who love us more than they love themselves. They rely on human beings for their survival and shelter, but we humans often misunderstand them. Many dogs are subjected to physical abuse, accidents, and suffer from malnutrition due to lack of availability of proper food. Only when we look into their eyes do we know the struggle they have to face every day. There are many such cases on roads, around us, and even in our neighborhood who needs help. Anchal Khanna, a resident of Hyderabad, have understood their struggle and have dedicated her life to serve these dogs.
I'm Anchal Khanna, a teacher by profession, and since my childhood, I wasn't a dog lover at all. For me, dogs were the most scariest things on this planet. I was always afraid of rabies, but gradually, once I got a pet as a gift, my life changed completely. And that changed motivated me to help strays. And then gradually, I started rescuing the dogs. After rescuing, I started feeding them. After feeding, I started giving them the basic medical first aid that was required. Gradually, I learned how to vaccinate them. As I said, I got a gift. That's my Bolt Indie, a Spitz, Indian Spitz. And there was a dog that used to walk along with him, a very loving and adorable guy. Once he met with an accident, my life took it was a 360-degree change in my life. I was so helpless. I was crying for help, going to different people, calling up various NGOs, and I couldn't help that dog. And I still remember 20th March midnight, he passed away. And that episode made me realize that as a human being, I have to give back to the society, and I decided to help the strays. Everyday motivation is a new rescue that comes my way. A hungry puppy that I see, the watchmen basically around our societies who look after the dogs. So these people motivate me to help more cases. I am blessed to have a very supportive family. My son, he's a dog lover, and because of him, Bolt came into our lives, and because of Bolt, we started helping the strays. So ultimately, the entire family is into it. Lockdown was the most crucial time, rather it brought the entire family together, because all the eateries were closed. There were no food in the open areas, in the trash bins, and that was the time where my husband and I started traveling to nearby localities to feed the dogs. And approximately, if I'm right, we fed close to 180 dogs. Venus, who was beaten up by the locals in Indiranagar because she used to sit on the scooties, and people thought that probably she's the one who's tearing the bike covers, which was absolutely incorrect. They just wanted to get rid of her, and finally she landed up with a lot of bruises all over her body. There were 6 siblings dumped closer to Arkepuram bridge in the open land, and out of these 3 could not walk. Probably they had swimmer syndrome, and somehow another volunteer rescued them, and with a little treatment and a lot of protein rich food, they all started walking. One of the siblings died on the spot, but out of 5, 3 got adopted, 2 are still waiting for loving homes. Both are girls. One is girly and the other one is birdie. So I hope somebody takes them, adopts them, give them a loving home. So that's the story of this little girl. All her 5 siblings were crushed under the wheels of the auto, and my son rescued her when she was hardly 1.5 months old. Now she'll be 1 year old, and she's been there with us because since Indies are not so beautiful as people think, she's with us forever now. We have Sony. Sony again is a paralyzed case. Doctors had given all the hope on Sony, But now she's 4 year old and she expresses herself beautifully.
And she just recently won a first prize in disabled dogs category.
Physically, yes, it is quite taxing because you have to leave your family behind at times. You have to give up on various functions and occasions or get-togethers. That way, mentally, we are definitely exhausted at times. Emotionally, looking at the pain and suffering. Yes, we do get emotionally drained out at times, but again, we are a support to each other. Financially, basically, I have a lot of good friends who see the cases and they understand the seriousness of the case and they do come forward to support the strays. So there have been cases where dogs were told to be euthanized either because of the expenses or because of the reason that they cannot walk. Khatri is a train accident case where he lost all the 3 legs, and as again many of the co-volunteers suggested that he should be euthanized as he will not have a good life to lead. But after checking with different vets, most of them gave hope that prosthetics would work, and today his legs are completely healed and he will have a cast soon on his leg. Once he starts moving on that cast, he will have prosthetics of that shape. So my only request to co-volunteers is never give hope. There's always a second chance for them. These were taken care by a lot of Facebook friends, a lot of my school friends. My son has supported me a lot. So financially I'm okay with it, though I feel yes, if any NGO or government can support an individual volunteer, that would help us to save more lives. So as a volunteer, the major challenge that I face is where to keep or board the dog after the dog is critically injured. The basic first aid, the basic wounds can be healed, treated on the streets. Whereas when they have a fractured leg or they have a spinal injury where the chances of survival or getting treated with 100% accuracy rate might be possible only if we have a boarding or a shelter to keep them in. The shelters in Hyderabad are over flooded because everybody who wants to rescue a dog just drops them at the shelter. So for cases which are critically injured, it might not be possible to drop them with so many dogs that there might be chances of them being infected.
Another such person who understands the struggle of the dogs is Vibha, who is also a resident of Hyderabad.
I'm Vibha, and I used to teach a school called Vidyaranya School. That's near Secretariat. I taught there for nearly 14 years. Then even as I used to commute to school and all that, I used to carry some biscuits with me and give it to any dogs that I see hungry. But I can't bear to see hungry dogs. So I used to do that. Then once I quit my job and I was at home, then I thought I should do something. At least the dogs around my house. So I started increasing my area that I feed and take care of. So right now, most of the dogs around here, I know them, and slowly trying to raise the funds and get them done. Now more than 3 years that I'm the feeding, the cooking, I make chicken rice at home myself. I pack it into boxes and I carry it in the afternoon with me to feed these dogs. So if any of them is sick, if anybody is injured, which keeps happening, I carry a box of medicines in my car and I feed it to them. There is a lot of discouragement to this from people. Now this is a place where there are no gates and all that. Now if there is somebody, there are people who object to dogs being fed. They have some strange misunderstanding that if dogs are fed, they increase in number, which is actually not right. Now these dogs used to be extremely thin and sick and all this group. So I started feeding them. I got friendly with them. Then caught him. He had a nose tumor, so got him treated. Then after that got him neutered. Then the female, she was a very scared one. You see, she's even scared of any strangers around. So slowly got friendly with her also. So got her caught and then we got her done. All this done privately. Attitude you get from these animals is more than inspiration to make you continue. Because most of these groups that I feed, they come to me, they welcome me, and after they eat, they thank me and go. So that kind of gratitude, you won't even get it from any humans, whatever you may do for them. Well-fed, sterilized dogs are happy dogs. They are an asset to every house. In fact, if they are there, we don't need, they become community dogs, and you don't need paid, drunk watchmen and all that. They are far more loyal and better. That's what I feel. People should understand this.
Adopting a dog before they wrap up his or her heart with fear is the most wonderful feeling you will have all your life. Adopting a stray dog not only rescues that animal from street, but also prevents the generation of more strays. When you adopt a stray dog, you're giving more than just a space to live in. You're making all its hardships go away, and such dog loves you even more for making its life better. With a life that might not last as long as a man, they definitely give us memories that we cherish forever. And here are some stories of people who have brought home happiness.
So, hi, my name is Aglima Asthana. My friend found him behind KFC under a few dead bodies of a few dogs. They were dumped there to be taken away in garbage. But my friend found him luckily under the dump. And I took him in for fostering for a few days. And my parents agreed to it, surprisingly, to foster him for 1 week. And after a week, when it was time to give him away, they were ready to adopt him. And that was the best day of my life when my parents agreed to adopt him. So basically, I feel adopting a dog is better than buying one, as it gives you more of a blessing, you can say, actually. And he's just like another baby and a part of a family.
Hello everyone, I am Shanti Chavanti. And I have an Indian breed dog. I named him Jabu. What inspired me to take an Indian breed is mainly because I know what are the unfortunate things that happen in breeding, because there is a lot of change in their traits and they cannot serve the purpose for which they are actually born. And temperament issues. When there is a crossbreed, we can never tell how the temperament of the dog would be. Buy an Indian breed because you don't need a lot of medication for Indian breeds, because they are highly immune. Because for, of course, obvious reasons that they are used to this weather. They are born in this weather. They are born to a very immune type of a system. So they don't need a lot of medication. For most part, it is self.
I'm a mother of two, and I'm a proud owner of a Indie, and we have called him Taco. He's a 1-year-old pup. The girls actually had been, negotiating with the family to get a dog for a long, long time, and we happened to come across an adoption plea for Taco, and we just kind of went from them. We didn't really think of having a breed, because I think all of us, the three of us actually, we just wanted a dog. We didn't want. I mean, its breed was not something which we were actually looking into. Just dogs are the same inside out. It doesn't really matter if it's a Labrador, or a Beagle, or a Dalmatian, or whatever. They still need just as much time. They need our love, our attention. Lots of belly rubs and all of that. So, which all dogs do. And Taco's just shown us that, He doesn't need to be coming with a breed label or a price or something. It's this unconditional love that he gives us, and which is always nice when you come home from a tired day of work to a wagging tail and a nice little sloppy kiss.
Every dog teaches us how to love unconditionally, have faith, companion, and to be extremely loyal. These qualities are possessed by every dog, and adopting an Indian breed only makes its life better because at the end, you're bringing home happiness, and happiness has no breed.